the Mtongwe Naval Base in Mombasa County. That is where we anticipate King Charles III to come. That is President William Ruto, who has just arrived at the Naval Base with the Defense Cabinet Secretary, that is Aden Duale, and a contingent of security chiefs. You can see also the military presence, not just from the Naval Base as well, but land and air as well. That is where we do anticipate King Charles III and Queen Camilla to be coming. Once they leave the airport in Mombasa, they'll be heading over. We can see the President and the First Lady are being taken to be showcased to the Naval Base, in and around that particular base, given as they're waiting for King Charles III and Queen Camilla. As I told you, the itinerary for the King in that particular base will be visiting the Mtongwe ferry site, also the Admiral's barge in Mtongwe Naval Base. We do anticipate, as they're being escorted to that particular base in Mtongwe Naval Base, they'll also see the Mtongwe ferry site in Mombasa Island. And of course, this will be the culmination of their trip. And of course, also, they'll head over to Nyali Beach. That is where King Charles III will be escorted. And we also anticipate Her Majesty the Queen to depart Vipingo Ridge and retires. As you can see, those are live images from the Mtongwe Naval Base. The military aligning there, given that the President has already arrived. I think they're anticipating the arrival of King Charles III and Queen Camilla. Let me carry on with the program. Is that also King Charles will be accompanied to Nyali Beach. Also, they will be escorted to Quiritu, locally managed marine area. And of course, King Charles III, accompanied by an escort of honor, will arrive in that particular region also to visit the Vipingo Ridge. And of course, this will be the culmination of their trip. This has been a 4-day trip in this particular region, and it will culminate and end on Friday. That is where they'll finalize on their trip, which has been, of course, lucrative, not just for the Kenyan nation, but to the United Kingdom as well. Also, we promised you that our reporters are stationed there. We have Anburu there. We also have Junei in Nyali Beach. We also do have Kabasa and Troy placed in strategic positions in the coastal city. Given that they had finalized their trips in the capital, they'll be heading over to Mombasa County. And of course, any moment from now, we do anticipate King Charles III and Queen Camilla. Right now, what we can tell you, dear viewers, if you're just joining us, President William Ruto has arrived. The President was in the coastal region for a 4-day visit, state visit there. And of course, earlier on, he bid farewell to the Iranian ambassador, that is Dr. Jafar Barmaki, at State House Nairobi, Mombasa. President commissioned the electricity mini-grid in Mkwiru village, Lungalunga, Kwale County. The President also pitched tent at a Shimoni fish port in Lungalunga, Kwale County, in the presence, of course, of Mombasa Governor Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir. Also, we do anticipate the President will carry on with the bilateral talks with the King once he arrives here in Mtongwe Naval Base in Mombasa County. We also continue with our royal visit. This will be now the second last day for King Charles III and Queen Camilla in that particular region. Let me just remind you quickly what they had done initially here in the capital. They visited State House Nairobi, where President William Ruto and the King, you can see those are live images. We can see President William Ruto These are some of the escorts that will be taking King Charles III and the President as well. They have just arrived. That means King Charles III and Queen Camilla are not far from arriving to this particular area. Which you're just witnessing, dear viewer, is Mtongwe Naval Base in Mombasa County. What we can confirm to you right now is that President William Ruto and First Lady Rachel Ruto have arrived. You can see that those are some of the dignitaries that are being ushered into the naval base with a contingent of security officers, not just the men and women in blue in the Kenya Defence Forces, but we can see uniformed officers from the General Service Unit and police officers as well. That is where King Charles III and Queen Camilla will be making their visit. As you can see, the podium is ready for the VIP section. That is where President William Ruto will be hosting King Charles III and Queen Camilla as the second day of their trip in Mombasa County. Let's hand over to the programming and listen in. Those are live images, as you can see. We can see King Charles III and Queen Camilla arrival at the Mtongwe Naval Base, accompanied by President William Ruto there. And of course, just introductory from the military brigade as well. As I told you earlier, those are live images from Mtongwe Naval Base. We do anticipate the King and Queen to make various stops in that particular region. That is where they'll have, of course, a little bit of lunch, then address members of the Fourth Estate, and of course the Mtongwe Naval Base will be their first key visit in the coastal region. As I told you, they'll not be stopping there. They'll be heading over to various sites in the coastal city, because this will be the culmination of their 5-day visit to this great country. They just landed a few minutes ago at the airport in Mombasa, and this will be their first visit. They're being ushered in. King Charles III, accompanied by Queen Camilla and President William Ruto and Rachel Ruto. As you can see, the proceedings are now starting. Let's hand over to that particular programming. Let's listen in.
Vale. Vaya va. Ya. Vamos a la esquina.
Well, that was a short ceremony at the Mtongwe Naval Base in Mombasa County. King Charles III and Queen Camilla arrived at that particular naval base at exactly 1:14 p.m. And of course, he inspected the guard of honor. Right now, they're being ushered to the VIP section, and that is where they'll be hosted before the king vacates that particular area to head over to Nyali Beach. And we do anticipate the Queen also from this particular juncture to retire at the Vipingo. But for King Charles III, he will not retire. He'll be heading over to a marine level base of the program that focuses on empowering coastal communities to manage their own marine resources. That is where the king will meet the non-governmental organizations representatives manning that particular area, of course guarded by the military, to see how they're focusing on the national fisheries policies and legislation. But right now, they have been ushered into the VIP section. President William Ruto in attendance. You do know that the president will be in the coastal region for the next 3 days or so. He flew in to Mombasa County yesterday. And of course, he'll be launching a lot of the projects that the government are spearheading in that particular area of the coastal city. Right now, there'll be a short ceremony there. He just inspected the guard of honor. I want to hand you over back to that particular proceedings as they kick off at the Mtongwe Naval Base in Mombasa County.
is aimed at building capacity of the Kenya Navy Marine Commando. The partnership involves 3 countries: Kenya, United Kingdom, United States of America, but more precisely, the Kenya Navy, the UK Royal Marines, and the US Marine Corps. John.
Good afternoon, Your Majesties, Your Excellencies. My name is Major John McGill with the United States Marine Corps. Our role in this partnership is first to provide some of the follow-on training that these Marines, which you're about to see, will have after their basic course. That will provide specialized training for individual tasks. Furthermore, we'll be providing some of the infrastructure which will support that training, such as an urban training facility, a marksmanship range, as well as an assault course. And lastly, we'll be providing some of the kit, that is their helmets, body armor, and some of the specialized swim and dive equipment that they will need in order to be prepared to deploy to defend their nation and the continent.
Your Majesties, Your Excellency, I'm Captain Sam Powell from 40 Commando Royal Marines, and I'm the officer commanding the 9-person Royal Marine training team working from here at Mtongwe Naval Base. We've been tasked with working in partnership with the Kenyan Marine Commandos to deliver the basic Kenyan Marine course alongside specialised continuation training. To your front, you see some of the students from the basic Kenyan Marine course who are in week 8 of their 12-week course, run very similarly to the All-Arms Commando course in Livingston. This week they're conducting amphibious landings and section battle drills, and they will now demonstrate a covert amphibious landing. You now see the Royal Marine and Kenyan Marine instructors moving across to the section commanders and troop commanders to provide instruction and direction. The Kenyan Marine instructors were on the previous basic Kenyan Marine course run from March to June of this year, and they have returned to work alongside the Royal Marine training team and also to attend specialist continuation courses in reconnaissance operations, close quarter battle and orders delivery. In a raid, the troops would now patrol off the beach anywhere up to 20 kilometres to their target. However, in this demonstration, they've been compromised by an enemy position located under the shelter to your front. They will now display their section battle drills. Now they have fought through the position, they'll move into their reorg while they'll conduct a head count of their Marines and then await future taskings from their higher headquarters. The Royal Marines instructors you saw as part of that demonstration are all from Charlie Company 40 Commando based in Taunton in the United Kingdom. We've been deployed in Kenya now for 3 months and will return to the UK shortly before Christmas. Prior to deploying to Kenya, we completed a jungle training package in Brunei, where the skills we've learnt there we've shared with our Kenyan counterparts to improve their capabilities also. The support we've had from the Kenyan Navy and the Kenyan Marines at Mtongwe Naval Base has been outstanding, and I look forward to in future working with them on operations. Your Majesties, Your Excellency, that concludes the amphibious demonstration. May I now invite you to meet some of the service members' families escorted by your hosts.
Hawa jua wameniwekea mgongo sasa hii. Sawa.
Your Majesty, it's now time to meet the Kenya Navy families.
Your Majesty, sir, I'm pleased to introduce to you some of our families that are here with us today. Welcome, sir.
Would you like to introduce some of the ladies? Hello. Very nice to see you. Would you like to introduce Hello. So your husband's going to take you part. Joy. How are you? Very nice. So how long is your husband? Is he enjoying it? Hello. Nice to meet you. Hello. So you've both got husbands? Yes. They're 16 years. So they're enjoying it. And yours? That's very nice. Hello. How are you? Oh, I see.
Sasa tulikuwa tunaongea saa zile.
I'm just thinking how in the back it's absolutely brilliant. It's your one getting too early.
Yeah.
Enjoys it. Is she looking after you? Good up school, too. It's a good school.
Your Majesty, it's now time to meet our Marine Commandos.
The ceremony is coming to an end. That was a brief ceremony at the Mtongwe Naval Base. What you're just witnessing on your screens is Queen Camilla talking to the Marine Commandos from both nations, which is the United Kingdom and Kenya as well. Earlier on, we saw a little bit of battle drills demonstrations from those commandos. Of course, they protect the integrity of our waters in and around our borders. And they also met with the families of the commandos and some of the men and women who defend our waters every day, both from the United Kingdom and Kenya as well. This is the Mtongwe Naval Base. They arrived at 1:14 p.m. exactly, ushered in to that particular venue where King Charles III, of course, inspected the guard first of all, and then both national anthems of the United Kingdom and Kenya were played, as is the custom since they arrived in the country on the 31st of last month. After inspecting the guard, of course, they were ushered into the VIP area where the glitz and glamour of the military parade were at display. After that, the King Charles III and Queen Camilla, as well as President William Ruto and the First Lady, had to witness first-hand battle drills that have been orchestrated by the commandos, Marine Commandos of Kenya and the United Kingdom. which lasted for about few minutes. They were anticipating, or rather the drill entailed where enemies were approaching the main dais where the president and the king were seated and neutralize that particular threat. This is what the men and women of our naval bases do on a daily basis in protecting the integral parts of our borders when it comes to the water. And of course, from here, we do anticipate King Charles III and Queen Camilla. They'll be vacating, and of course, they'll separate. Queen Camilla is expected at Vibingo Reach, where she will retire there. But King Charles III, on his itinerary, he will still visit the Kuruitu, locally managed marine area. Earlier I told you this is the first program that focuses on empowering coastal communities to manage their own marine resources once they vacate the Mtongwe naval base. And of course, if you're just wondering what Kuruitu means, it is a locally managed marine area, is an area of nearshore waters, and it is associated to the coastal and marine resources. Now, you also might wonder as to why King Charles III and Queen Camilla are visiting the coastal region. They are retracing the footsteps of the late Queen Elizabeth II and their family, given that the late Queen normally loved to go to the coastal region. Of course, in Mombasa City, played host to the late Queen Elizabeth II in 1963, before Kenya got its independence, where Queen Elizabeth died in September 2022. And of course, we do anticipate the monarch. This is the second last day. Tomorrow will be the end of their visit, their first visit to any nation once he was coronated as the King of England. Right now, they're just meeting a host of commandos from the Mtongwe Naval Base. They have met the families, and of course they're making small talks there with the brigadiers. That is live images from Mtongwe Naval Base. As I told you earlier, they arrived there at 1:14 p.m. exactly, with a flurry of the men and women in the naval base. And King Charles III, as is the custom, inspected the guard. After that, the national anthem for both countries were allowed. This is the Mtongwe Naval Base. We do have our reporter Ann Buru there. We will also be following King Charles III, as he goes to Nyali Beach, where we do anticipate our reporter Junae is there. She'll also give us a brief from that particular region. We also do have Edwin Kabasa as well as Ben Troy in the coastal city, positioned in strategic positions to just bring us up to speed with the Royal Diary. As it's coming to a close today, it is the second day. Tomorrow will be the last. Of course, in the accompaniment of Deputy President William Ruto, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, apologies for that, and the Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale. From here, he'll be heading over to the Kuruitu locally managed marine area. You do know that the King is a staunch supporter of green economy as well, which we'll also be discussing if we get the opportunity, and the greenery at large, given that we're just back off the ACS 2023 that was hosted here in the capital with the Nairobi Convention or the Charter in mind. They're leaving the premises of Mtongwe Naval Base in the accompaniment of various dignitaries, both from the United Kingdom and Kenya. This is the Mtongwe Naval Base. If just joining us, our dear viewers, it was a brief ceremony that was held. No speeches. They heard from the families, the commandos, what they are doing, the military partnership from Kenya and the United Kingdom, the trainings that our naval men and women are receiving from the United Kingdom, not just in the naval space, but also in land and air. You do know how the ties between Kenya and the United Kingdom is etched in history. We work together on a number of fronts, not just economically, but also military. You do know we have one of the largest bases of the United Kingdom here. Let's listen in. That is it for that particular short ceremony that was held at the Mtongwe Naval Base. President William Ruto, of course, escorting King Charles III and Queen Camilla. As I told you, Queen Camilla will retire at the Vipingo Range. And of course, later on, she'll be joined by King Charles. But first of all, King Charles will be heading over to Nyali Beach, where we do anticipate he'll be visiting the Kruitu locally managed marine area. Right now, they're being ushered in to the speedboats that they came in. Of course, the king will be heading over to Nyali Beach, having a tete-a-tete with President William Ruto as they do so. Also, Rachel Ruto, the First Lady, as well as Queen Camilla there. They'll be heading over. You can also see Prime Cabinet Secretary and the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Musalia Mudavadi, who has been with the royals since they jetted into the country. We also do have the Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale escorting them there. As I told you, once they leave this particular area, Queen Camilla will be heading over to Vipingo Range, and she'll be joined later by King Charles III, who is expected in Nyali Beach to visit the Kruitu locally managed marine area. It is the coastal communities that manage own resources in that particular area. And of course, they are bidding their farewells there. He's heading over there right now. We do have our reporter Janae on standby. Once we get those live images from Nyali Beach, we'll showcase it to you as is the custom. We do have our 360 degrees coverage of this particular royal visit, given that it is coming to an end tomorrow. In that particular Kruitu locally managed marine area, it is the national fisheries policies and legislation and has been replicated in 19 coastal communities and NGOs along hundreds of kilometers of the coastal line. This has been the norm for King Charles III. He has been visiting various smart farms, especially in Mama Lucy. Now he'll be visiting that particular area. You do know our coral reefs are in danger, and these local communities are protecting it not just for tourists, but for the economy as well as the environment as well, protecting our water bodies, which is under threat from wastage, especially human wastage. Earlier on, if you just missed that particular military parade to the inspecting of the guard, also a flurry from our naval men and women, both from the United Kingdom and Kenya. Of course, they did military drills up and close, anticipating if an enemy attacked the main dais where the president and the king were, how they will be neutralized before they even reach that particular area. And of course, this also brought out the partnership between Kenya and the United Kingdom when it comes to military intelligence and training, which has been going on, as I heard from the commander earlier on, for the last 3 months or so. And of course, they're currently leaving. They're heading over to Nyali Beach. And of course, we do have our reporters there stationed. When we get those live images, we'll showcase it to you. That is the boat carrying King Charles III and Queen Camilla heading over to... The Queen Camilla will be heading over to Vipingo Range. And of course, he will be heading over to Nyali Beach.